Hey, it's Flango. Welcome to another patch. This patch doesn't seem like it was too big, but let's look over all the changes and maybe I will be surprised. Okay, so first card was Vampire Progenitor. It's no longer Ravenous. I think that's a good thing. That's a buff, obviously. It's jump move now. Um, I think that's probably not good. I think that's probably bad. But it helps you escape. I mean, clearly they're turning this card into a king. Stats reduced. Um, I don't know, so it's not a perfect king, but it is a king. I think that definitely this is a king. And cost increased, so again, king. Um, but also this sort of balanced out the Ravenous part. So overall, I think this makes this card more useful. You can use it as a king. I think it has some uses outside of being a king, but if we look at Undying cards, Vampire Lord is the same card with weaker stats. So if you're not running it as a king, maybe you'd rather run Vamp Lord than Progenitor. Hard to say, obviously, but for the most part, I think this is king version and this is non-king version. Do I think I have an interesting idea for a Progenitor deck? I mean, the cool thing about this is that you don't have to be running Undyings necessarily to, like, it's its own engine, right? So you can maybe do something cool with that. It's kind of like running Crypt King as your king. Um, we've seen Crypt King decks in the past. You can sort of run non-Undying cards and kill them, as per trigger happy, various other things. So yes, I do think that this card is interesting. It might actually be a better Crypt King in some ways, because it can run. I have an idea or two, but I don't have certain cards that would bring it to fruition, so I'll save that for another time. Other than that, I don't think it's groundbreaking. I don't think it's OP, but I think it's going to be a fun king. Okay, so Dragon Servant now reduces cost by 8. Okay, I guess it's time to look at dragons. Apparently, oh, I see, I typed dragons. Oh, and this is 15 now instead of, I think it was 12. So, 58, so now it's a 50 cost. That makes more sense, rounding it out. This is good for Zera. I mean, you can get it a turn earlier with 10 mana jumps. This you can get earlier, this you can get much earlier. The 8 really affected Dream Drake, actually. Dream Drake is kind of quick now. Because it used to only be 5, I think. And then it would be like 42, and that's saving you like not really any time because you're probably paying for dragons with a whole bunch of like 10 mana jumps or 5 mana jumps. Um, Now, I mean, this thing is only costing you 39 from one Dragon Servant. That's really good. So yeah, I think this does help the whole Dragon Slayer, Charmer, Scale Call, whatever deck, the Dragon deck. I haven't made it, mostly because if you see here, I don't own very many of the dragons. I own a couple. We can make it work, but eh. I feel like it needs some other cards. We'll see. Reaper actually got a reduced cost. I think this is probably good, and it's obviously a buff to my Wasteland deck, which is currently my main deck, so I'm not complaining there. But it might be excessive. We'll see. It pays itself off after it still doesn't pay itself off after 2 kills. So I'm pretty happy, to be honest. But we'll have to see. It might be crazy to have a 24 bomb at 45 cost. Actually, like that's the highest attack card, right? Other than Death and Beyond. Yeah, so I mean, Taurus Dragon at 58 or this at 45. There's something to be said there. 23 for 52, 42 for 22. Okay, that's the most competitive slot here. In terms of like, I want to do damage early, like as early as possible. This is the best comparison. But again, Northern Giant does have a range advantage, so there could be something said there. This is not comparable, obviously. Not comparable. Not comparable. Not comparable. Okay, this is the other one at a similar price point, and it costs 18, but again, more range. So I think Red Reaper fulfills a really good niche. Like, there's not a lot of high damage bombs that cost very little, and the ones that do, like Northern Giant, they have more range for 2 less attack, but it's a different movement type, right? So like it could be a nerf. It also has more health though. Anyways, I think Red Reaper is interesting, and I like to see it in the game. I think maybe DFB is still a bigger bomb by 1 attack, obviously. But no, I really love Red Reaper, and on Wasteland this thing is actually just the best bomb, right? So I'm happy with the nerf. I don't think it broke the card, but it did make it very, very strong, which is good because it's among my favorite cards in the game. Okay, Vampire Unleashed is cheaper now, to be honest. This plus Progenitor might be... I still don't think it's enough to make Undying super strong. I think... Do you even pay 35 for a 17 attack, heal itself, but it's side jump? Like, it needs force, right? But this card also wants force, so maybe this is a combo. Um, and I mean, you probably run this anyways. Like, you'd run like a sort of value deck, using the revive to revive your own guys, or to revive, well, I guess you do a discard, or burial, that's the card. So yeah, you're using Progenitor to get value through resurrection, and you're getting efficient trades with your healing undying cards. And then you're going to, sorry, use force to get them in range to use Progenitor and whatever. So, I mean, Cephalopod thematically seems cooler, but Psycho Fiend is probably better here. I don't think you want the regen in this deck necessarily. Um, Progenitor. And then, obviously, you need to run mana cards. We can run 6, maybe only 5. I think you have to run this, because the crystals go to the graveyard and you can revive them, and then that's awesome. And then I guess you can just run this. Or Wraithblade, something like that. Progenitor doesn't heal, but Vamp Unleashed with Wraithblade is interesting. Anyways, that's sort of the patch. Thanks for watching.